I'm Max Montrose, and I'm the guy who started Interpening. And one thing that's true is people who have followed me and the Trichome Institute for years, who have heard about Interpening, truly don't know what it is. So please, let me be the one to break this down. Interpening is dynamic. It's not just one thing. Truly, it begins with a community. And it's a community of people who really understand that cannabis is not the way we've been told that it is in so many different ways. It's people who, not only just know that the plants aren't indica or sativa, but they know exactly how they're not, why, and what they truly are, and how diverse that spectrum between stimulating to sedative plant types is, and how to detect where on the spectrum any sample falls using 3 different cranial nerves, which are actually more accurate than a lot of our lab testing today. Our lab testing doesn't even look for quality the way that Interpening does. We teach people how to assess for ripeness, flushability, as well as just look for simple things like mold and insects that even mandated lab testing does not look for. So Interpening is the cannabis sommelier. And in that way, it's, wine somms and beer cicerones, they're cool because they're experts in this really cool stuff. But Interpening is way more important than just cool, because it helps people get over the strain name dilemma, the speciation dilemma, the fact that your lab test isn't accurately telling you what the quality of your product is, the potency of it, and how it's gonna make you feel. And the fact that Interpening can empower people to know that for themselves, or entire business operations who can sell cannabis in an entirely different way, is important to the cannabis community. And so people who are within the Interpening community definitely get that stuff. And for certified interpeners, we definitely have a club, but Interpening is not an everybody's club kind of a thing. It's a high level understanding of cannabis. Most cannabis experts truly cannot tell you the botanical names of just the simple parts of the flower. And that's not a real expertise. And Interpening goes way deeper than that. It's helping family farmers in the Emerald Triangle establish cannabis appellations and terroir the way that the ancient and legal wine industry has, which is going to help these family farmers and define what good cannabis actually is. And we even have cannabis grading programs within Interpening that can help people, even in the hemp industry, sell millions of tons of biomass because they can explain how and why their cannabis product is more qualitative than not, or what it is. They have vocabulary to describe the trichomes, the terpenes, and in what state that they're in. Interpening has brought a ton of new science to cannabis. For example, we actually discovered the 7th type of trichome, which we published in the Interpening book, as well as the science behind how the trigeminal nerve can see and smell the differences between these plant types, which we still need more science on.
Now, what's important about this is that it is not a hypothesis. This isn't just some random idea that we've come up with to say, oh, well, when you smell flower, this happens, and you can feel it here or sense it there. This is a combination of why we call it a theory, is because of the amount of information that there is out there about how we smell, our olfactory system, aromatherapy, trigeminal nerves, cranial nerves, and various other things we're going to touch base on.
And we're very honest about. Interpening helps people better understand the word marijuana and how it's not what you think it is and how much further back it actually goes. Interpening challenges the cannabis industry, what they know, the words they use, the terms. Indica, sativa, lab tests, THC. Interpening is a disruption to the cannabis industry, but in a positive way, because it makes cannabis make more sense. And it's making true cannabis experts. And these people are getting jobs in the cannabis industry. In fact, they're starting their own businesses. We have people who have certifications in Interpening, literally from South Africa to Chile, all over Canada to Mexico, all over the US, really all over the world. And what they're doing with their Interpening certifications is incredible. Interpening is a certification program that is continued education. with multiple levels of certification. That includes books, courses online and in person, and dynamic interpening tools, and even things to help you become a better cannabis expert with, such as our jeweler's loops, our jars, and even our terpene smelling kits. So interpening is a big deal. It can help the cannabis industry and individuals within it in so many different ways. So we're excited to share interpening with the world, especially in 2020. We'll be breaking out the advanced interpening program, which will have to be done in person, and you'll have to have your professional interpening certification to attend. So I hope that clears up more about interpening. Again, my name is Max Montrose. Thanks so much.
I'm also an interpener, and an interpener is essentially like the sommelier of cannabis.
I know what I like. I know what I like.
I never thought of that before. You know how many times I've smelled a jar of indica and a jar of sativa and never noticed that? Never noticed that.